Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Super excited that you're here. We're going to give it about another 30 seconds or so to kind of let everybody get into the webinar, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Thank you, everybody. Glad you could be here. If you have not gotten a chance to watch any of our webinars this year, I'm Dr. John Loehr. I work in the national office. And I'm super excited on this one because normally it's just myself and a speaker filling you in for the hour, but we got a great panel of folks. Some of them you can see on screen, joined by Jenny Kopak and Dan Nichols from our office, along with an entire team from the University of Southern California. We have representatives from Viterbi Engineering, housing, youth protection to help answer your questions. But also really importantly, we got our fantastic USC host group headed by Brian Lamb and Nikki Cheng to talk to us today. And the hope is we're going to get to profile the national tournament for you a little bit and talk to you about all the other cool things that are happening at USC besides the actual competition. So at this point, I think Nikki's got a video for us, so I'll let her go ahead and get that all kicked off.
Yes, thank you all so much for attending. We're going to get started by showing a short video to preview the campus and the tournament to come.
USC really values an interdisciplinary education, and that was crucial in my decision making when I chose what school I wanted to attend. And I feel like opportunities to explore different disciplines are sort of unparalleled, and I'm grateful that I was able to attend USC.
They say, go out into the university, use these resources within this massive research institution and kind of change the world.
You're treated like a professional in every classroom that you're in with your peers. You are treated as if you are doing things at the highest level, and that is what you are doing here.
Every single professor and TA and tutor that I've had has been so invested in my success. The faculty here is what makes this school so incredible, and it's what has made my experience and my education wonderful. I have done so many things that I would have never imagined possible just because I'm here in LA and because USC wants to connect you to these amazing events.
I felt like I truly belonged at USC through the people, in complete honesty. Meeting people who are like me and who have similar career aspirations made me feel part of USC and that I belonged.
Trojan family is so real and it is incredible, and it goes beyond just USC. Here, like currently, it goes to alumni and to the future.
USC does a really good job of integrating that Trojan network from the very beginning. So at the orientation events and things like that, they already have alums there for freshmen. So you're already building your network throughout your whole USC experience. I knew that if I somehow needed a job graduating, like I would have someone to lean on. And I'm just glad that that was something that was built in from the beginning, and it's not something that I'm like seeking out now as I'm about to graduate.
USC is really helpful for kind of helping you figure out what you want to do specifically in your field.
If you take it seriously and if you put in the work and you put in the hours necessary to be successful, success is bound to happen. There's a reason why they have such a large alumni that is extremely successful.
Being surrounded by other like-minded, driven, ambitious individuals, I think it also pushes you to perform at your best level. And it's not competitive, it's collaborative. Fight on.
Fight on. Fight on. Fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on. Fight on.
All right. So what we're hoping to accomplish today, and we're going to talk about and kind of go in this order, is talk a little bit about travel and lodging, dining options. Right. We're going to highlight the STEM Expo. We have some reminders about our opening and closing ceremonies. And then we want to highlight some of the fun and things to do in LA. Plus, give you some ideas on moving around. And last but not least, we're going to close with some information on USC's Youth Protection Program, as well as answer any questions you may have about housing or youth protection, or really the tournament as a whole. Real quick, just want to go over a couple of reminders for the session. So everybody knows, and you should have heard when you came in, the webinar is being recorded. We'll make sure everybody is emailed a copy of the cloud recording. So you should get that likely late tomorrow, early Friday, so you can watch it. We'll have the final edited copy put up on Science Olympiad TV. That's our YouTube channel. If you have any questions during the session, right, I'd ask that you please use the Q&A feature in Zoom, and that's located in the toolbar. Usually it's kind of set, I want to say a little right of center. It's the box with the question mark in it. The reason we want you to put all the questions in the Q&A is it makes it a lot easier for us to track them. They don't move around as much, and we're going to do our best to try and get everything answered in our time today. If for some reason we don't get or not able to answer any question, we'll try and do our best to get it posted or get you the information that you're looking for. Last but not least, I would ask you to use the chat feature if you have any troubleshooting questions. So you have a question about, hey, I did the screen freeze, or there's a weird noise in the background. Is that on the presenter side? Is that on my side? You got any of those kind of questions, be happy to clear those up if you put them in the chat. The other thing I'd ask you to put in the chat right now is, could you let us know where you're from and your role with Science Olympiad? So, Illinois event supervisor, Wisconsin coach, that would be greatly appreciated, so we can get an idea of kind of who's here. And while you do that, we'll move on to the next slide. And I'm going to turn it over, I think, to Nikki and Brian, because they're going to talk about getting the schedule and getting to LA.
Thank you, John, for the introduction. So the national tournament schedule for the weekend, we have a lot of fun things planned. What you'll see in the white text are events related to the tournament. And in gold text, we have other fun activities going on that anyone can enjoy, coaches, parents, as well as students who aren't competing at the time. So on Thursday, when your team arrives, if you are staying in the dorms, we'll have you go straight to dorm check-in. And then afterwards, your team will go to team check-in. Same thing for Friday, dorm check-in prior to team check-in, if that's when you arrive. And on Friday, there's a range of events happening. There's trial events, the STEM Expo, which we'll explain more about. And within STEM Expo, we're also offering campus tours and talks by USC admissions. Following that is the opening ceremony, the swap meet, and the coaches meeting. And then Saturday is competition day, so we'll be having the usual impound and event blocks, followed by the awards ceremony to close out the weekend. So for those of you not familiar with LA, when you fly into Los Angeles, there's two major airports that you can choose from. Shown here is the route from LAX to USC. And we recommend flying into LAX, which is the Los Angeles International Airport. It is the closest, with about a 30-minute drive, so that is the closest. And we do have chartered transportation options available through our travel partners. More information can be found on the tournament website. The airport's also technically accessible by Metro Transit, though it may be a little bit hard if you have lots of luggage, large parcels, so not the most recommended option. And as always, Uber and Lyft are available if that's the most convenient option for your team. Alternatively, there is the Hollywood Burbank Airport, which is slightly further. It's north of USC and about a 40-minute drive. Unfortunately, there are no charter transportation options available at that location, so it's mainly going to be Uber and Lyft and no public transit. So hopefully that helps you plan your flights in if you haven't done that already. And now I'll kick it over to Brian to talk about the dorm housing.
Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, so at USC, we are offering two of our newest venues for the dorms. one of them being the USC McCarthy Honors College and the other being the Parkside College dorm facilities. Included in these facilities are some recreational spaces, some community areas so you can meet and mingle with other people, and of course the dining halls that are located directly on the first floor of these dorms. Off campus, you have a lot of options. Obviously, there's a lot of hotels in the LA area. All of these are available on the website. And if you are coming just for the tournament, you're staying at the hotels, we do have commuter cards available. These will help you purchase meals for your time at the university. You don't have to worry about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's two different options. You have an 8-meal option and a 5-meal option, depending on when you arrive. And these are available to swipe into either the Village Dining Hall or our Parkside Dining Hall. These will be purchased at team check-in, just at the same first floor as RTH. We'll talk about those buildings later.
Thank you, Brian. As a reminder, all this information can be found on the website. More information about the hotels, the meal cards. We do have some great discounts through our travel partners. Again, more information on the website, and we'll be linking that website at the end of the webinar too, for those of you who would like the link. John, would you like to introduce the STEM Expo?
Sure. So as Nikki had mentioned, STEM Expo is going to take place on Friday from 9 to 3. And it's really a mix of information about the university and demonstrations, expositions from STEM experts. You get campus tours. College admissions is going to be available, both in terms of the USC Office of Undergraduate Admissions, so the college in general, but also there are going to be admissions folks from both Dornsife, which is the College of, I'm always going to mess it up. It's liberal arts, science, and there's something letters, right? Or okay, and then as well as Viterbi, which is the engineering college. So if you're interested in any of those kind of majors, there's specifically people there to talk to. There's going to be some great talks and presentations covering being a pre-health major, the natural sciences, computer science, engineering, as well as a bunch of programming from our partners. So I think on the next slide. Yep. So you can see Science Olympiad, obviously we have a wonderful set of partners that work with the program, and many of them are going to be on campus offering you guys opportunities. So we have our student success partners, Ingenious Prep, Prequel, Empowerly, and the Cambridge Center for International Research are all going to be present, along with our partner CodeHS, as well as our partner 3D Molecular Designs are going to be present helping run trial events, as well as I believe CodeHS is going to give a presentation talking about Code Craze and kind of the future of that event. The National Free Flight Society is going to be there once again, along with, and I think really cool, is the Midnight Science Club. And we'll talk about what they're going to be doing here on the next slide. And last but not least, our partner Ward Science is going to be there. So you can look at the resources and materials that Ward's provides, not only to support Science Olympiad, but to support STEM instruction in general. So when it comes to the STEM Expo, I kind of broke it down outside of the things Nikki had mentioned into two kind of buckets. Yep, go ahead. There's the activities bucket, right? And under the activities bucket, I think there's really four things. The Midnight Science Club is going to be holding their contest for the search for the next science star. So this is an opportunity for you or for your students to go ahead and put together their own science demonstration and present it to wizard number 4, Jake from the Midnight Science Club. And they're going to identify the top presenters, and you're going to get a chance to actually participate and be part of a Midnight Science Club show in the future. NIFIS is going to be running their flight school. So if you want to check out your helicopter and get a last minute advice on flying preps, you want to make sure everything traveled well, there's going to be space for you to do that on Friday as part of STEM Expo. Nikki had mentioned there's going to be campus tours, and as well, we're going to be doing trial events. So Botany and Code Craze will be available for both divisions. If you want to do ping pong parachute and you're a middle schooler, so Division B can do ping pong parachute. And last but not least, protein modeling is available for Division C. And kind of the breakdown and schedule of that is on the website under the trial events section. All right. Okay. And then in terms of presentations, right? Our partner Empowerly is going to do a presentation on how to build a competitive profile for computer science, AI, and engineering. So essentially, Empowerly is going to talk about what things you can do to make yourself stand out if you're looking for admission in those fields at some of the top schools around the country. Prequel is going to be offering a session on last minute tournament prep ideas. So how can you make the most of those, hours and minutes before you compete the next day? Prequel's got some thoughts for you on what you can do to be in your best space to compete on Saturday morning. And then last but not least, Code HS is going to talk about Code Craze, both kind of what we learned from this year, as well as kind of talk about what it looks like going into next year in the future. All right, you want to go one more? All right. You want to take this one, Nikki, since you guys work so hard to set all this stuff up?
Sure. Thank you, John. So from the USC side, there's also going to be some great USC representation at the STEM Expo. There will be USC campus tours. Reservations will be required, and that link will be sent out to teams after all teams qualify out of fairness. The USC Office of Undergraduate Admissions, the Dornsife Office of Admissions, and the Viterbi Engineering Office of Admissions will all be doing presentations throughout the day. So those will be available in the auditoriums at the Tudor Campus Center. And the times are shown on the screen. They're also on the website. But if you or your students are interested in USC for college or for majors in natural sciences, pre-health, engineering, computer science, I highly recommend attending these presentations for more information. And these aren't just for students, they're for parents, coaches, siblings, anyone who's around.
And real quick, if I can just tag on to that, I would say that even if you look at it and you go, hi, we're from Maine and I'm probably not going out, I was just talking about my son here in Illinois isn't really into California. It's a little too far to travel. But it's still incredibly valuable both for the students and the parents to go ahead and just hear the presentation, hear about the school. It lets you know kind of what the expectations are, what kind of things are out there. And I think that you can help put other schools that you might be looking at in perspective. So definitely, if you have the time, I'd encourage you to take and kind of plan on attending these sessions from the admissions folks.
Yes, I highly recommend, and that's great advice.
All right. Just want to go over a couple of things about the opening and closing ceremonies that it's really important for everybody to keep in mind. It's going to take place in the Galen Center. This is the arena that USC uses not only for graduations, but it's their home court for basketball. And if I understand correctly, I think it's actually going to be a site of the 2028 Olympic Games, that they're going to hold some events in the Galen Center as well. But there's a couple of things you need to know, because I do not want you being rejected when it comes to getting into the ceremonies. The Galen Center offers and runs a very strict clear bag policy. And they have up on the website, there's a great link to it. I would encourage you to take a look at it. But essentially, that means if you're going to bring in stuff, they got to come in a clear bag. And there are definitely some restrictions on what can come in and the size of the bag that you're going to need to pay attention to. Also, and this one's incredibly important, especially for Friday, because I know we've gotten into doing a lot of this in the atmosphere of the opening ceremonies and the celebration of the opening ceremonies. No inflatables, right? So no beach balls, no no beach balls, no blow up pineapple hats, no blow up swimming pools, anything inflatable. And that includes the blow up suits. Last year, now get me wrong, I love seeing our guys, and I think it was Alaska that came in the polar bear. suits to Nebraska, you can't have those guys, right? So you got to think differently when you are getting ready for your parade of states. The other big thing is no stuffed animals. All right. Think of it this way, and here's your rule of thumb. If somebody could grab it and throw it, you probably do not want to bring it to a ceremony at the Galen Center. Okay. That's a nice kind of safe rule there. When it comes to arriving, right? Doors open at 6 p.m. So you can start finding your seats at 6 for Friday, 7 p.m. on Saturday. The Parade of States lineup takes place at 5:30. So that's when the 4 representatives for your school need to be there and ready to go on stage. And just a reminder for how you dress for the ceremonies, right? Friday, we're the opening ceremonies, casual and relaxed, right? It's very much we want to celebrate with you, we want to party with you. Like it's, recognizing that you got there. On Saturday, a little more formal appearance. Okay. So again, nicer clothes, right? It's the night I always break out my black suit for being on stage, right? And I would encourage people to keep that in mind. So like when you come up to the stage, leave the sunglasses in your pocket. No hats, right? We already talked about you're not even bringing the stuffed animals into the arena. So like you're coming up on stage to be recognized. We want you to look your best. So please keep that in mind as you leave your seats and kind of head on up to the stage. All right. Thanks, Nikki. Let's see I think you guys got the next one, right? Because now we're going to talk about the town.
Yes, got some fun stuff coming up.
All right.
Aside from the ceremonies, if you have a few extra days or looking for other things to do in the city, we do have some local partners that we're working with. The first one is Universal Studios Hollywood, and I love this place. None of you should ever need to meet me, but if you ever wanted to, the best place to find me is here. I actually was a pass holder until very recently, and we have a special deal with our travel partners. There are discounted tickets and VIP packages on May 24th, the Sunday following the tournament, and that link to buy those tickets is on our website. And I show it on the top photo here. But Universal Studios currently has the Super Nintendo World, and it is so much fun. It looks like fun. Your students will love it. So if you're looking for something fun to do the day after to celebrate, I highly recommend. We're also working with the Natural History Museum and the California Science Center, which are both located just steps off of the USC campus. So if you're staying in the dorms, this is very convenient and a great educational, fun field trip. Both of those venues are working with us. They're very welcoming of all of your students. For the California Science Center, reservations are highly recommended. And as I said, all information will be on the website. But these are some really fun things to do to cap off your weekend in Los Angeles. And something that the USC team loves to do, we love to eat. If I could tell you anything, we love eating. And here's some of our favorite places. The first one is Holbox, which is classical Mexican fare, a lot of seafood tacos, seafood burritos, and Fixed Corner, Hot Pot, and also Funmore, which is Vietnamese cuisine. All 3 of those are about a 10-minute walk from the USC campus. So they're close and a little bit off campus, but very delicious, very worth it. If you're driving around town, there's 2 more places we recommend. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. You may have heard of this on Food Network, YouTube, the internet, and it's one of the piloting restaurants for the chicken and waffles meal. So a lot of people like to stop in and try it when they're in town. Langer's Deli is also a bit of a hidden gem. It is a little bit of a drive from USC, but for those of you who are from New England, New York area, this is one of those delis that's battling with Katz's Deli for the best pastrami in the US. So if you're in the area, I would give it a try. Otherwise, with any of these options, you can't go wrong. And also, it would not be a Los Angeles-based webinar without bringing up tacos. Tacos are a very big part of the LA cuisine, LA, I guess, culture around food. And a lot of people from LA would tell you that the best taco places actually aren't brick and mortar. They are trucks, stands, various mobile options. And so I'm showcasing 3 of my favorites. you could find many anywhere and they're all delicious. But some of my favorites, Brothers Cousins Tacos on Sepulveda National. There's no address for it. It's the street intersection, which are these photos up here in the top. The Kogi truck, you have to see where it is on the internet. So on their website, they'll tell you day by day where they are. So it's a bit of a scavenger hunt, but they do Korean Mexican fusion. So Korean short rib tacos, bulgogi tacos, all delicious. I'm getting hungry. And also Birria San Marcos, another truck that has birria tacos, which if you haven't had those before are amazing. It's tacos that you dip in consomme, and it is delicious. Everything's delicious. Um, and now that I've touched on some places to eat, like I said before, if you're eating on campus too, you can get that commuter meal card that Brian mentioned. But not talking about transportation. If you want to travel LA like a local, I highly recommend using the Metro Rail. And I know a lot of people don't know that LA has a rail system, but I think this might be a really great way to travel with teams. So if getting rental cars might not be super easy and chartering a bus isn't what you're looking to do, I would take the Metro E line. The Metro E line is the line on our Metro Rail, which is kind of like our version of the subway or the light rail or the T. That E line is the main line that services USC, and it runs from the beach all the way through downtown. So it really connects the city. The cars are very large. You can put a whole team in one of those cars. You can have parents, students, chaperones, plenty of seats, super easy. Just wait at the station. When your train comes, everyone gets on. The pricing, $1.75 per ride. But if each of your students gets one of these, let's see if it shows, one of these cards, these tap cards, there's student pricing. And so they'll be capped at $2.50 a day or $6 a week. So for that whole weekend, you could travel anywhere you wanted to go as many times as you needed for $6 per student, which sounds like a very affordable way, if you ask me, to get around. And just to sell you on how to get around with public transit, we thought it'd be fun as the USC team to showcase some of these stops along the Metro E line route that would be very accessible and fun to visit. So the E line is this yellow line that we're showing running from the beach all the way through USC and further into the heart of Los Angeles. And this line really connects multiple fun tourist attractions that I love to take. I mean, this is how I would get to USC if I was going to the beach or if I was going to downtown to see a sports game, a concert. So here are a few of our favorite stops. The first one, which I think would be a great visit if your students want to visit the beach, maybe if you're from somewhere where the beach isn't the biggest cultural icon of the state, the Santa Monica Beach Pier and Promenade. So this is the end stop of the E line. And going west to east, the first stop, it's all in one. You have the beach, there's a pier with a Ferris wheel, roller coaster, funnel cakes, ices, Dippin' Dots, the whole deal. And there's also a promenade that has lots of shops if students want to walk around, get ice cream, get boba, whatever they want to do. So there's something for everyone. You can really make a whole day out of it. Going a few stops over is a little bit closer to USC, the Sawtell Japantown. The image I'm showing here is of the iconic Sawtell Boulevard and Sujita LA Ramen. So if you are someone who watches food YouTubers, you might recognize this image or this restaurant. And the Sawtell Japantown is a small street that has a lot of Asian food, Asian desserts, and restaurants. I go there for lunch all the time. I think I probably go there maybe twice a month. So I would highly recommend it if you want ramen, sushi, really anything of Asian cuisine. And now we're back at the USC stop. So this stop services USC and the Expo Park, as we call it. An Expo Park is what houses the major park that houses the USC, I think it's the Trojan Coliseum, where they play all their football games, the Natural History Museum, the California Science Center, the African American Museum, and the beautiful Rose Garden that's shown in these photos. And so this is actually steps off of the USC campus. You don't have to take the train there unless you're coming from somewhere else. But it's a great place to spend a whole day. You can hit all the museums. They're free admission and they are expecting the tournament, so they're welcoming all of your students. And if you want to take team pictures, like maybe your seniors want to take senior photos, That rose garden is beautiful and just a great place to spend the day. Just another few stops over is downtown LA and LA Live. And so if you haven't heard of LA Live, it is exactly what that photo looks like. It is a hub of all sorts of things. There's crypto arena, there's concert halls, there's the Peacock Theater, they have bowling, restaurants. And so if you wanted to see something that's kind of like a metropolis of what LA has to offer, this is also a great place. There's lots of activities and something for everyone, for parents, students, coaches. So if you want to see a show, see a movie, go bowling, this might be a nice place to gather. Okay, so Little Tokyo. As you can see from that photo, LA never misses an opportunity to show off our pride for Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. Little Tokyo is a mini cultural hub of Japanese culture and other Asian cultures. There's a lot of, I mean, the best sushi I've ever had was in Little Tokyo. They have ramen, they have okonomiyaki, lots of matcha. So if your students are onto like the matcha trends that are going on, there's a lot of matcha, mochi, all of the Japanese desserts. I also love going there, and I also take the E line to get there. And as a bonus, this one is not on the E line. It is one stop transfer on the A line, but you could transfer at Little Tokyo. And I just wanted to quickly highlight something a little bit off the path, Calle Olvera. It is, or as a lot of people know it, Olvera Street. It is another mini cultural hub of Mexican culture, and they have multiple historic monuments, a street market, lots of really good Mexican food. And so if you're already in Little Tokyo, may as well hop on the A line, transfer over one stop, and check that out as well. And lastly on our route, as we go all the way east, is El Mercadito. El Mercadito is a large public market style establishment for all sorts of vendors, restaurants, and shops with the general theme of like Latin American culture. And again, delicious food. The mole there is amazing. So if you're ever in the area or take the train down there, I highly recommend trying that. So now that we've capped off everything on the E-line route, which I would recommend you bring your students if you want a cheap, easy way to navigate the city, here are some other local favorites that we could not pass up the opportunity to share, even though they might take a little bit of a drive. The first one is one of my favorites, the Griffith Observatory. It is a 40-minute drive, but it is so worth it. There is about a 2 to 3 mile hike that goes up a hill, or you can drive there. You don't have to hike. There's two ways. There's the driving way and the hiking way. The hike is beautiful, great way to get the kids out, moving. But if you drive up there, no judgment. I definitely do that all the time when I'm not feeling it. And the observatory is amazing. It's super educational. Doesn't feel that way though. I learn so much every time I'm there about astronomy, planets, and the observatory is also a must-do. It's in the top 10 largest observatories in the world. And every hour they do different shows focusing on whatever happens to be in the sky and visible that day. So I would highly recommend booking tickets to those shows, and they're about $8 for students, so very affordable. The next place is the Melrose Trading Post. So when you think of LA fashion, thrifting, eclectic styles, that is what the Melrose Trading Post embodies at its core. It is a very, very large thrifting and swap meet. There's food trucks, there's live music. And so if you're looking to just bring students something where there's something interesting for everyone and then kind of get a glimpse into some LA, I guess, fashion culture, that is a must-do as well. And then the last one is a classic, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's a 30-minute drive out from USC, but it's one of those things where when in Rome, do as Romans do. Why not see where all the stars are and where all these people have like all the names of the celebrities. So those are three of our other favorites where if you have a car or a bus or another way to get around, we would recommend visiting. Lastly, we also wanted to kind of just showcase our tournament merchandise. So this is already available for ordering and will also be available on the weekend of the tournament for in-person sale. Right now, only the t-shirts and tote bags are listed, but we are adding water bottles and hoodies as well. Okay, so thank you all for your attention on things to do in LA, food, other fun options for travel. I'm going to turn over to Carissa from Youth Protection to present a few slides.
Thank you, Nikki. Not as exciting as all of that, but still important nonetheless. Hi, everyone. My name is Carissa Coons. I'm part of USC's Youth Protection team. And our office serves as the university's central resource for youth safety here at USC. At the core of our work is really making sure that every young person who visits our campus or who is engaging with us off campus has a safe, positive, and well-supported experience. And for you all, that's also making sure that you feel equipped to help make that happen. So just know that we are a resource to you. That includes helping you navigate the requirements, answering your questions, and then supporting you both now in advance of the event and then also during the event and even after. So, we've gotten a lot of questions. We understand that some of these requirements may feel a little bit rigid, or difficult to navigate. So it is important to note that many of them are driven by California state law. And so that means for us that there are some areas where we don't have a lot of flexibility, but we are here to help you work through those, and help make them as smooth as possible. So don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions here at the end. My colleague Madison is also here. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Before we get to that, I just want to go over a few reminders to help you prepare for your visit and that we hope you'll keep top of mind while you're here. So, Nikki, next slide is fine. Thank you. So first, registration. Most teams have done this, but please remember that in addition to sending those fingerprint hard cards if you're out of state or doing the live scan if you're in California, you also need to register your team with our office. So you should have received an email from us. There is a link to do so with instructions on how to go through the form. This is the only way that our system can assign and track the completion of the other requirements like training for your chaperones. So that's really important. Wanted to highlight that. General safety information. So all chaperones and families, we want you to have key safety information like how to report concerns to the university, how to sign up for Trojans Alert, and that's the university's emergency notification system. It's also something that we want you to share with parents who are not traveling. It's really important for them to have that information so they can get an alert to see if there's something happening on campus, and then they can check in with you all, with their child, etc. Our office has a web page that we encourage you all to share with families, both participants and parents alike. And maybe Madison, you could drop that in the chat for everyone. That would be really helpful. Along the same lines, emergency protocols, you'll be receiving an emergency plan for the event from the organizers. So please just make sure that your team and chaperones review those in advance together. In an emergency, they're never the same, of course, but familiarity with the protocols will definitely make a difference. Supervision at any event. Thank you, Madison. Supervision at any event, but particularly one of this size, is very critical to everyone's safety, particularly the minors. So please remember that no minors can be left unsupervised at any time. They have to be supervised by either their direct parent, guardian, or a fully cleared chaperone. And if your team is split across activities, just please plan in advance for how you'll structure supervision. And also just a good reminder too is to remind your chaperones about active supervision, always maintaining, eyes on the kids who are here. A couple of last reminders: safe interactions are part of our policy, right? And so as a reminder, private one-on-one interactions are not permitted unless it's, of course, with, an adult and their direct child. But please remember that those have to be observable and interruptible, meaning someone can interrupt the interaction and observe what's taking place at all times. And that's for everyone's protection, including yours. Lastly, reporting responsibilities. If there is ever a safety concern or a potential policy violation or misconduct, anything like that, our office is to be notified. And you can probably skip to the next slide, Nikki, if that's helpful. You are mandated reporters as chaperones here on campus, and this means that you, of course, are required to report suspected child abuse and neglect, but also any other serious violation or concerns involving minors. It really is going to take all of us to keep this event and the participants safe. So please report to our office. I don't know how likely it is, that you would become aware of child abuse and neglect, but it is probably a possibility that you could see maybe a violation of policy or you see kids unsupervised. Those are still things that you want to bring to our office. You don't have to remember the reporting protocols. You can always just contact us directly, and we can provide guidance and support to you. Also, we do have a webpage that has reporting information on it. It's just so important. So I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. It's also super important that the participants themselves know how to report to the university. There is anonymous reporting, and so please let everyone know how to do that. I think that's it. Next slide, maybe Nikki. Yep, that's our reporting webpage. And then we will try to have this signage around the event as well. It's a QR code to our university's reporting portal. And we just want you to know that we are here to support you, get you through these requirements so that you can have a really great event. So that's it for now. I know you'll have questions later, but thank you all. And thank you for also your commitment to creating a safe environment for everyone while they're here.
Well, thank you, Carissa. All right. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, if you want, I'd ask if you'd put the questions in the Q&A feature. It's a little kind of rectangle box with the question mark. It's to the a little bit to the right of center in the Zoom toolbar. I know a couple of questions have been asked and answered already, and you should be able to see those there. Couple of ones that came up in the chat. Just want to let everybody know you don't necessarily see the question. You sometimes only see the answer. But early on, a question was asked about the event space for flight school that NIFIS is doing. It is not the same as the competition space. So you're going to practice, the flight school will be held and practice flights will be held in a different space than the main competition space. One just came in here a second ago related to youth protection. And the question was that they had sent stuff already in, but by tracking it, they can see that it's still kind of stuck at a post office. So they wanted to see what could be done about the deadline. And Madison from Youth Protection said that to email your school name to minors@usc.edu, and they will do what they can to help you out. So give it a second. So I have two other questions have popped in. All right. Okay, first off, we'll go ahead and take this first one live here. So Charisse asked, when will venues and home bases be released? So Nikki, Brian, what was our timeline on communicating about home bases and final room assignments to the teams?
We will have those posted definitely closer to the event. Obviously, we're still waiting on one of the teams to confirm. We just want to make sure everyone has enough space in their home rooms to be able to move and mingle. If anyone wants to be paired up with teams, people are paired up with the teams they want to hang out with the day. So don't have a direct strict timeline about when we're going to release them, just closer to the event. We'll release it early enough so when you're coming in, you'll be able to find your rooms easily. We're also preparing a map that'll help you navigate between the buildings at the university.
All right, thank you, Brian. So essentially, Sharice, that we're wrapping up a couple of little details, but that information should be coming out shortly as the final teams qualify for the tournament this weekend. then Sharice just also asked this question, and I may throw this one to Chris if you don't mind, Chris. Her question is about charter bus drop-off. They're they need to know, like, where would you suggest they tell the charter companies where drop-off on campus is? I guess it's affecting prices and fees and stuff.
Sure, it's a bit of a varied answer. I think the easiest answer to give here, without and give you advice on additional specifics, is there is a drop-off lane on South Figueroa adjacent to the Galen Center. That address is the Galen Center at 3440 South Figueroa, and this is, of course, easily found on Google Maps. So charter buses can easily pull over there. It's a central location. It's immediately adjacent to the arena facility, where most of the activity is happening. For those that are in the two housing options with USC housing, the facilities are anywhere from a 5 to a 15-minute walk from that location, and those groups are getting specific address information of the facilities they're in when their registration is complete, and we have you assigned to a facility, and that's when we would be able to give you the street address for those facilities. But I think the Galen Center is a good central location for pricing.
All right. Thank you very much. So the Galen Center address on Figueroa, Sharice, if you're not staying on campus, but if you're staying on campus, you guys will be getting specific information. Moving along, this one I think is a Carissa or Madison one. This comes from Pam, and she's asking about, is there a way coaches can track where their parent submissions are when it comes to all the combined permission forms and I'm assuming youth protection as well?
I actually am going to pass that either to Brian or Dan, who is, I think, overseeing the collection of those forms.
No problem. Brian.
Yes, I can jump in here. Thanks, John. So your Airtable, we will send a reminder out on May 12th and May 18th, giving you a list of the student names who have submitted, just to keep things on our inbox side a little bit smooth. But you can let us know if you have any questions about filling it out. We're happy to answer.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, and then I'm going to throw this one out as a jump ball. Chow is asking about parking available, and I know if there's a parking lot behind the USC hotel, there's a parking garage. Are there other parking places people would recommend for campus?
I could probably take that one, as we're associated with USC transportation. For those that are staying in the residential facilities with USC housing, your welcome packet, information packet, will include information on the structure closest to your housing, as well as a PDF that we provide that how to prepay or buy daily parking passes. There are several USC transportation parking facilities. There's one behind the hotel in the Galen Center. There's one across the street at McCarthy Quad. They're around the perimeter. If you go to the USC website at usc.edu, there's a link for a campus map. You can highlight the parking structures. They are all for day rates. They are text to pay. So once you're in the structure, you can scan the QR code and text the day pass permit. There are also prepay options on the USC transportation website. And there's plenty of metered parking around the campus and in the neighborhoods. So while parking is always fun and a challenge here in downtown LA, there is ample amounts of it in the surrounding areas.
Thank you, sir. Okay, any other? Let's see, looking to see. All right. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Give it a minute. If not, I want to say thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Nikki. It was very excited about the information you shared. Somebody called out and they said, I guess Holbook, or is the Mexican restaurant you mentioned, is a Michelin star as a place. And I thought your explanation on how to use the E-line is really incredibly helpful. And looks like the one question that popped in, Madison just typed in. So if there's nothing else, ladies and gentlemen, we'll let everybody get back to their evenings. Like I said, you'll get the link to this to watch in the cloud a little bit later this week, and we will have it up on our YouTube channel. Also, before we go, if you guys could just please thank everybody from USC that took the time to come out and be involved, as well as the host team. And it looks like Kari slipped one here at the last minute, and she's asking, where's the information about the free tickets to the museums? Is that just on the tournament website, Nikki?
Yes, so go ahead and scan the QR code or enter this, and then it's under, I believe it's things to do. For the museums, there's no tickets necessary. Reservations are recommended, but it's free general admission, so you could walk in and they're happy to help you.
All right. So, and I just also, in addition to the QR code stuff that was up in the slide deck, we dropped the link to the national tournament website in the chat, so everybody has that there. But again, thank you, everybody. Chris, Carissa, Madison, Kevin, I think Noe was on. Anyone else I'm missing, I apologize. USC team, thank you guys so much. We're really looking forward to being out there, and so glad you guys would host us this year. To Nikki and Brian and all the team you guys have working on this, fantastic job, guys. Thank you so much. And congratulations to everybody that qualified, and look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. Have a great night.